Welcome back, my friend. My name is Mikołaj Maria Dawidowski, and I welcome you to this beautiful video. Today I'm going to be talking about emotions and the two different types of emotions that I recognize. There are the internal emotions that you have, and there are external emotions that you have. Let's get started. So first off, you have your inner being, your inner emotion that governs the way you perceive reality. It could be peace, it could be anger, it could be suffering, it could be happiness, it could be anything. It is a state of being. And that state of being has influence upon the world, and people will be able to perceive it when you walk in to the room, regardless of what emotions are going around. State of being, emotion, right? Internally you have an emotion, internally you have the state of being, externally it's an emotion. That's the way I'm going to distinguish between them, even though I can say emotions in out, because these are, you can describe them exactly the same way as you describe emotions. You'd use the same terminology: happiness, suffering, anger, peace, bliss, all of that. But it's a state. It's internal. You radiate it out into the world. It is who you are when you sit still for more than 10 minutes. And then we have the external emotions. These are the emotions that you experience and explore in your daily life. When events of the world happen to you, you choose these as if from a wardrobe. You pick them up, piece of clothing. You put it on, you like it, you explore it, you get possessed by it, or you bottle it up inside the body. Doesn't matter, we'll get to that later on. And then you let it go, or suppress it down, or let it possess you, whatever. But then the time goes on, you put on more and more of these, and these emotions, they get tinted by your internal state of being. And so if you are suffering within, no matter what emotion you take from the outside, no matter what events occur around you, you could have friends showering you with gifts and compliments, and if you're suffering internally, you will have happiness within you. You will have the happiness feeling, emotion, but you will also feel that this happiness is sort of fake. It is not true. It is getting corrupted by the state of suffering that is within you, and that state of suffering is going to corrupt the emotion of happiness. And if you just stop then and there as the event is happening and just look at the happiness, you're gonna realize that it's almost immediately vanishes, and you're back into this sort of void type feeling of emptiness, bad type of emptiness. We're at the level where we're going to be recognizing the right and wrong states, so to speak, because no state or action is inherently right or wrong. Both can be right or wrong depending upon circumstances, situations, so on and so forth. And so you're here chilling with your happiness, with your internal state being suffering, and so you push yourself more and more into this happiness. You're chasing the happiness, you're feeling happiness, you're feeling the external happiness, but it doesn't last at all, and it gets melted away, it gets corrupted by the suffering that is within you. And the moment you stop and look at yourself, all of the happiness vanishes and you're standing there like that, suffering again because you stopped for a moment. So you push yourself ever more. But then as a result, you become neurotic, because you constantly have to distract yourself from the fact that you're suffering internally and that you're pushing this fake state of happiness. You're trying to ride the wave of happiness emotion whilst your true state is suffering. Thankfully, it works the other way around as well. If you are content, if you are happy, and you are blissful in your state of being, then you can choose to explore, let's say, for example, anger, an emotion many people judge in a negative way. Put it inside of you and feel it due to certain circumstances happening around you, and you can feel happy about feeling angry. It's quite a abstract concept, but it makes sense. It's simple. You're happy about the fact that you're allowing yourself to explore anger, and therefore the anger doesn't possess you, and anger, you don't bottle it up either, because you already accepted yourself and you love yourself enough to realize that expression of anger is a natural state of a human being. It is that easy. And therefore you don't go off destroying things, and at the same time you don't hide it within you and compress it into your heart. Instead, you just let it flow. Easy. And so it is important to recognize the external and internal emotions, because they have great influence upon you. And depending how far you've pushed your awareness, if you can choose to change your internal state, that's going to have a wonderful positive effect for you down the line. Because if you can recognize that you're suffering, then you can get to the root cause as to why you are suffering. But if you keep distracting yourself with more and more fake happiness from the external emotions, you're going to cause yourself more and more suffering. This is sort of how the shadow work begins, is when the hippie stage of spirituality finishes, and we finish riding that wave of initial positivity given to us by positive affirmations, meditation, detoxification, and so on and so forth. We find ourselves standing there feeling empty. We find ourselves suffering despite riding the wave of positivity for a few months. We crash, and it's time for introspection. It is time to look within and ask myself, what have I been pushing away? What have I been trying to lie about to myself? And what is still there that is unresolved in my life? But we'll get there when we'll get there. And for now, my friend, subscribe, leave a like, tell me what you think about the video. Blessings be upon you. I shall see you soon, once again.